Hello, 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 hello. I actually wasn't going to log on so early. I really wasn't. I was going to log on later. Oh my goodness. So somebody called me Nalia, like a fake Aaliyah. And I was just like, that's what I wasn't gonna go for it. But the other day, I said that, I love Aaliyah. And somebody had literally upon themselves. Hold on, here we go. Got the one, do the zero, babes. Do the zero. You know how you like to. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so I said that I like Aaliyah and I've liked her for a very long time. That's nothing new. A lot of people obviously like loves Aaliyah. Still love Aaliyah. And yeah. So I have this hairstyle and somebody who thought that they were being cute, obviously, it's an op. And they were saying like, oh, like you not Aaliyah. And I'm just like, as a trifling as black bitch that's literally always up in my situations. Meanwhile, I'm minding my business. You make it your business to, be in mine and then triangulate people to send a message to me. Like that is seriously crazy. That is seriously crazy. I mean, it's bad enough that you dug your own grave by being such a minus to the majority of the black race, but you just keep serving it and just keep serving it. And you know, I was just like, you're not at a position anymore because you had many choices, years in fact, opportunities to say things to my face, and instead it was always smiling in my face but talking crap behind my back and doing maliciousness behind my back. And right now, a lot of people who are very obviously, fucked. They've painted themselves in a hole and in a position where it's just like, damn, like the shit just ain't hitting it like it used to. So they're like, obviously going gung ho by trying it one more time to like have things again back as it once was. And these people are desperate. These people are super desperate for real, for real. And I mean, what else can you expect from these people? Like they've sold their soul. They've I'm saying metaphorically, like they sold their soul and they're in a position where they have egg on their face. Not only that, but they're doing the most by denying exactly what they've done and by just reducing themselves to just petty kind of responses and retorts and also pretending like they don't know exactly what I'm talking about. And again, the conspiracy theories and whatnot like that. So the whole Nalia is cute because it's still, tethers to Aaliyah. So maybe, because apparently, I'm a charitable person. So, I don't mind having that moment where, you kind of see it, even I mean, you may not see her because I mean that's not what I was going for, but I mean, the fact that you feel inspired to think about her is always awesome because she was an amazing, wonderful person. So that's nothing that I'm just trying to like emulate or copy because I don't think that she ever wore her hair like this. I know she wore it to the side, but like yeah, but y'all, I noticed what you guys were trying to do. You guys are definitely trying to be cute. Speaking of which, there was a relative's relative, like it was on their father's side, and trying to get my attention. So he was just like, "Hello, hello, hello," being super loud and everything like that. And I was going into the house, getting things from the car to the house. Oh, speaking of which, this house that you guys like to lie about and said that I was homeless, still in this house, many decades later. Anyway, so moving things from the car to the house, and I intentionally ignored him because he's one of the like supporters, the abusers, one of the people that be stalking me with the whole surveillance cameras and things of that nature. So I ain't pay that nigga no mind. I heard him, but because he was trying to be heard, he was very loud and he wasn't that far away. He was like talking to like two neighbors down and whatnot. And I went back into my home. And as I was walking to that home, I was like, "Hello, hello, hello." He was just like, "Bitch." And I was just like, oh, and I walked right into the house. Like, I know that you already display that you want my fucking attention by saying hello, hello, hello. And now you want a reaction, which is my attention again, for me to say something and respond to it. But I was just like, no. And to make sure that, I don't, to make sure that, if you want a problem, then you do something about it. I went back to the car slowly Because I was just like, oh, did you want to do something? Do you want to do something? Then fucking do it. Like seriously. I didn't acknowledge him, but I was just like, look, do you want to say it again? Do you want to do like what do you want to do about it? You just want to be like a, a little punk ass nigga bitch. You feel me? There are so many people that are in their feelings unfucking provoked because I'm just doing my thing. I'm very independent because you guys have literally done nothing but either ride my coattails, you know, um, gotten a lot of your foundation has been off of my efforts basically. And now you're really heated because I'm not only calling you out, but I'm exposing a lot of things that you guys want to put in denial. And a lot of people who are, I guess, crowd surfing and stuff like that, um, like they know that this is abuse. But I want to pinpoint and narrow down exactly on what points that you have fucked up, whether you care about it or not. You feel me? The future is important. Remember, it's always about every single time, it's always about the future. So you guys were so adamant to point out fingers at this, that, here, and the third. Oh, I'm about to get to something like that. This, that, here, and the third. But when it actually came back to you, because what happened was is that you guys were conned. It's so funny. You guys like to be scammed, and then you guys end up being scammed to basically the relieve, I guess, like the burden, the hardships, the activities that people have done to you by doing that same shit exactly onto the people that and to the same people that you were bitching about, basically. It was just like, again, you guys were undoing a lot of stuff. And like, you don't like that. You don't like the fact that I called it out. Not only that I called it out, but I mean, like, you should have been thankful for it because, it was a setup. Okay. It's not, and it's only getting worse because you guys just keep like digging yourselves like into a further grave. It's not just about wiping the slate clean. It's about literally showing you why you were mistreated in the first fucking place. There is an agenda here, and like it's not like, don't think too deep about it, but like it's a setup. You're trying to set me up, but literally you guys have exposed yourselves for the idiots that you fucking are. And for you guys to over here thinking that my abusers are a genius, I'm like, no, this shit is literally just like, it's in the books. It's in the books. We came from the fucking ghetto. Well, I came from the suburbs, and then I moved to the ghetto because my mother independently decided to do that. And then I moved back to the ghetto because I had acquired this property because it was up for foreclosure. And I decided to seize this at the young age of like in my 20s as an investment for people who I've been cut off. And but yeah, like growing up in it's, um I have had the opportunity to read books and stuff like that, and so I've become aware of certain type of, and I've grew up in a certain type of environment, so I've become aware on the way how people behave and certain things like that. I've always had an interest in more of like psychology and just environmental behaviors. So, needless to say, a lot of people decided to manipulate that and abuse that power in order to oppress other people and be opportunistic and be abusive by any means necessary. That means anybody it can put their head on, can be on the chopping block, and that's a very dangerous thing. Which is, I heard on the grapevine that there are more people that are watching me, and I literally just, that's not what I was trying to encourage. That's not what I was trying to encourage. I was trying to have you guys open your mind, and this is something that somebody had made a comment about me, like literally less than an hour ago. Somebody called me a free thinker, and it's just like, how is that wrong? It's just like, I don't want you to just follow along or something. I want you to make that decision, use the decision, hear the decision of the majority, and then compare it to your own decision, and then from there you go from there. You Hopefully it will lead you back to where you need to be. No matter what kind of choice that you decide, it'll lead you back to where you need to go. But it's just like, it's your choice. It's based on what you want. I wanted you guys to think for yourselves, because a lot of you guys were definitely ending up in a fucking shithole. And it's really fucking disgusting because I was over here trying to give you guys, a lot of guys, warnings, and I said this over and over and over again, especially before I knew about society fucking me over, and before I knew black people were fucking me over, And before I knew that I was even gang stalk, I was over here trying to provide warnings to you guys. And then you ended up using me, trying to use me like a fucking canary in a minefield. And I'm just like, okay. This is just okay. I do not want to be your thing so you can try to figure out what it is, like how you should live your life. This is like my intention for you to, I don't want you to follow me in order for me to be that person to make all the executive decisions or influence your decisions. And I mean that shit. Because I have done my part. You feel me? I am ready to happily move on and retire. Okay, you feel me? I've never this was not my whoa. Whoa. I need water. Whoa. Sorry. As I'm getting like choked up. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have to swallow some saliva. This is like okay. Just fair. Somebody didn't want me to say that. Ooh, right. My throat is really itchy. Oh my god, I don't even know what happened right there. But seriously, I'm sorry. I was on a serious situation. I'm giving you guys just like tips here and there. I when it comes to life, I'm just winging it, obviously, because I am not the person who is, I'm just taking it day by day. I really am. And fortunately, there are people out there who have abused this position and try and developed a religion off of it. Pardon me, and are doing their damnedest to try to, keep that shit going because it's made them very profitable. It's made a lot of people very profitable. And I'm not with the shits, obviously. Every single time when you guys watch me, you guys are sending money over to my abusers. I'm not getting anything, obviously, and they're just watching me like, putting me in more like financial abusive situations. In addition to that, I wanted to encourage you to have some free thinking because like it's crazy on like the illusion of reading books more. It's supposed to like open up your mind, but it's also about like what kind of books did you read. And considering that I've been abused for over a decade, like a lot of those books within that time frame are by people who would either like observe me and then try to make asinine kind of assumptions and things of that nature, or try to it's basically a lot of just reiterating kind of theses and opinions on the same kind of thing, just regurgitated information, just summarized in a different type of way. Well, I've been watched, surveilled without my permission, and people have just been turning out shit, and getting money. So my abusers and stuff like that, they have been getting money and doing some really fucked up stuff by delaying my efforts. And whenever it is the moment where I want to rest or anything like that, then people want to just like hop on my back and try to criticize me. But they see this as a setup anyway, because it seems like when my intention to move is in the process of being planned against. So I would expect that people are doing the most in order to try to keep me in this house for as long as possible, and or death. Pretty sure about that. Pretty sure about that. And it's crazy because I'm telling you, like I said, influencers and celebrities were really, with that shit. And like I said, I'm not trying to involve or bring up people who are no longer with the games and with the bullshit. Like, it's not my intention. Why should I bring that up? if you have already, tried to move on, not try to move on, but you literally have not invested any more into the toxicity. You feel me? Unfortunately, there's like a lot of people who are, I'm gonna say a lot of people, but there are enough people in there who are still trying to be, you know, bottom tier. But that's really them problem at this point. Earlier this morning, I was saying, wait, hold on first. Hold on with me. I would say that so within the 10 years that people were, watching me, observing me, and creating a multitude of content in order to keep people in society entertained, I would suggest reading books that are older than that, but not too older too, because there's a lot of I would say read books that are older than 10 to 13 years old. Definitely read books that are older than 2006. Try to go for some books that are older than 2006. Definitely try to look for content and stuff like that, because um if you want, I mean, obviously you're probably gonna, read content that's more update and modern, but I would definitely just keep because especially with science development, like new discoveries in this, there, and the third. But there is some helpful content that I like to just, I would advise you guys to check out, because without it also using, me as an example. They've looked to the past too, but these people are, obviously, these people are corrupt because they're exploiting me. But these people are, it's a scheme in a kind of way to make it seem, to either, it was a scheme and it was a tactic to silence me. It was a scheme and a tactic to, like, not all the information is, how do I say this? Basically, what I'm trying to say is just that, like, not all the information that they're going to provide you is on the up and up. Meaning that they're inserting their inaccurate observation and coming up with assumptions about me that are untrue, without even knowing, but just making the best guess that they can, and then going on from there. And in order to get like a Pulitzer or whatever like that. And then there are also people who are like, I'm thinking about, like, medical kind of things, or like or warfare. I would definitely say when you're reading my or when you look at my abusers and the things that they've done, it's not just them, like, that they are like, that are responsible for those decisions that they've done or are made. They have, behind closed doors, they have collaborated with other people in order to come up with those scenarios. They have read books to come up with those scenarios, old books, okay? Not just the books that are modern time, but you need to go over the older books. Like, there's Machiavellian books. There's books on war. I'm not talking about the art of war, those kind of books. No, I mean, like, look into the old stuff. Look into, again, like I said, Machiavelli. Crap, I can't remember because I actually bookmarked these on what is it, Audible. But, like, yeah, look at this. But it's just like it's like the information now is curated for you to consume and digest, because it's what people want you to know, not what you should know. It's like, oh, this is how we want you to think, not how you should think or how you should be open to think. Remember, has been just a moment for people to try to for herd mentality. So again, I would definitely suggest reading older books in addition to reading modern books, but just kind of reading older books. But again, not too old, because back in the day, like, there were doctors, the second and the third, who, made these crazy asinine assumptions about, especially particularly like Black people and women in general. Black people can't feel pain, and the second and the third, those inaccurate kind of they have a high tolerance of pain. Like, it's like how they said that about redheads, and supposedly redheads, medically, scientifically, studies have shown that redheads have high tolerance for pain, and they were comparing it also to African Americans. And this is crazy because, like, just because we were able to handle those burdens of, the indentured servitude and abuse, doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. It didn't mean that, this shit wasn't like that we were okay with it. Um, my life. That's just so disappointing, bro. That's so disappointing. Anyway, I'll get over it. I just gotta one day at a time. It's one day at a time. Um, okay. Uh, okay, all right, yeah. Well, so anyway, I wanted to. What else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, so the other day I went to the courthouse because I had recorded that information. I recorded it, and I went to the courthouse to go grab the papers of the restraining order. Now this is a temporary restraining order, but I said it was a permanent one, but they said they had described it as it is considered it's not hold on. The judge did say it was permanent, but the way how the woman described it yesterday, because I want to keep this a buck, the way how the woman described it yesterday, she said that it's technically not called permanent. And I have the recording. I'm gonna play everything so that way, it's just like everything. She said it's not like considered permanent. Like it's considered um like a permanent restraining order is like a permanent restraining order. Like, you don't have to worry about you definitely don't have to worry about hearing from him again, but it's just like you don't have to worry about coming to court anymore or anything like that. This is a temporary restraining order that would be in place until he actually just, receives this paperwork. So yes, this is his old number that I showed you guys before when it came to because I told her to come to give me the phone number, and this was the phone number. This is her handwriting because I also in the recording have this is one of his old phone numbers. Um, and this is and I have that in recording of like all the conversations and interactions. And here is the date and everything like that where I had did the parking, everything, every fucking thing. And it's just like a lot of you people already know that I'm abused, but you guys have been very complicit with engaging in not only just nefarious criminal acts, but it's just like racism, racism. Like you wanted to literally it was like you didn't learn the first time, you didn't learn the lesson the first time, so you went and tried it again to support racist agendas, and then still kind of ended up kind of shorted. It's crazy. So here it is, this paperwork right here. It is the restraining order, and I have the video. Everything is hereby ordered. Yeah, shall that on this day, 28th day of November 2022, that all restraints previously ordered in the temporary restraining order dated 10/14/2022 attached shall continue in full force and effect. The TRO must be attached to this continuance order for service. So yes, and served in court. And then I had returned yesterday to pick up a copy of this and to also have a you are prohibited from returning to the scene of violence. You are prohibited from future acts of domestic violence. You are barred from the following locations. You are prohibited from having any oral, written, personal, electronic, or other form of contact or communication with plaintiff. You are prohibited from making or causing anyone else to make You're prohibited from making or causing anyone else to make harassing communications to plaintiff. You're prohibited from stalking, following, or threatening to harm, stalk, or follow plaintiff. Hmm. When I went there too, um, when I went there, the women, because obviously, like I said, like the government is fucking corrupt. So the staff there, they were being very strategic because I only had a limited amount of like storage space on my phone. So naturally what they were doing, it was just like, because I wanted to get it from beginning to end. When I exited through there, they had like, of course they had the what is it, the security area. So like I had to give them my phone and things like that. So I was gonna do a live, but then I my thing kept dropping. My phone kept dropping, like the signals, and it also kept dropping on because of like the storage space. And then I had to send it to the through the what is it, that belt thing where it has the security and you can see everything in it. So I gave them that, and sorry, so I gave them that, and then I went upstairs, and then I just recorded it. I recorded like myself walking into the courthouse, and I recorded this little interaction with the people. I have everything, really. I literally have everything. Docket FV 11-000-549-23. So it's just like, yo, I don't want anything to do with these people because I'm not wasting all these days off. So that way I can literally put up with this shit. And it's a shame that people were literally trying to assassinate my character when all I did for them. Like, for real. Like, I've played my fucking part as your fucking idiot when it comes to like supporting you and all the other kind of shit. Whole time you were either like I'm talking about for the guys, but like the guys, you were like cheating on me. Now for the supposed, like, for the ex best friend, it's disgusting. So now you're saying that I slept with you. If that was the case, I could have literally had gotten you a fucking restraining order, because then that technically would have meant that we had a relationship. But no, we were just ex best friends. So I can't have like um a restraining order against you, because like I can have a no contact order, which is what I've been trying to do, as you also seen on that video, for me to get a no contact order. And the judge said that basically, like, he was saying that no contact between like any one of us. And I'm just like, I don't see why I have to have mediation with somebody who's just like an associate, but that person's literally talking shit and being really fucking nasty behind my back. And I'm like, you've never said any of this to my face. And anytime when you said anything remotely, like, like you were joking just a little bit too far, you would shut up, because like I would say something back and it would supposedly hurt your feelings. And then you start acting like a victim. And so here we are many moons later, and I'm just like, well, then I would say at me, but I've got you blocked. I've got you blocked. Like, I probably have you added on one of my old accounts, or maybe something. I think maybe I have you added on one of my old accounts, but that was to expose you and to go ahead and start taking pictures of the content that you had on here. Because like you play a certain type of role that you're not, and it's just like, you obviously are making up shit about me. So I don't want to have anything to do with you. Like, don't ever try to make it confused. Like, I don't know, like, because you're talking shit. Like, literally, you've done nothing but just try to like compare me to you. You've done nothing but just like make my business your business, and then have to bring it to other people. And I'm like that's so transparent. Another thing is just that I went onto social media, and because so many people, well, enough people were able to profit off of this, they're really really disappointed and thinking that triangulating information is going to be like a continuance. But no, obviously you're not paying attention enough, because I will at you. And because if this is seriously criminal, whether or not you want to admit it or not, like, I'm calling it out for what it is. So on TikTok Live, Denisha Carter was definitely on some dummy shit, where she was like, she was trying to compare about like, Elon Musk was, like, she used to like him at one point in time, and it's just like now, but now doesn't anymore, because he's trying to get into film and such, and he's a provocateur, a free thinker, and accuses people of crimes that they didn't commit. Now, A provocateur, like, let me just, verbatim, because I know how you guys like to, fact check me. And like provocateur, you would think of provocative, and you would think of something that's like, more kind of like scantily, seductions, things of that nature. Provocateur. Person who deliberately behaves controversially in order to provoke argument or other strong reactions. Um, ooh. When I think of something like provocateur, I think of something, like provocative. Like, okay, hold on. Let me do this. Boom, zoom, 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 zoom. Hold on, this is looking causing annoyance, anger, or another strong reaction, especially deliberately. The second definition is arousing sexual desire or interest, especially deliberately. It's like, well, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what I was thinking of, especially deliberately. Like, stop it. Yeah, provocateur, a person who deliberately behaves controversially in order to provoke argument or other strong reactions. And a female agent provocateur, a woman who incites someone to do something, especially something incriminating. That's funny. That's really funny. That's really funny because, like, okay, hold on. So, to be passively addressed as a person who deliberately behaves controversially in order to provoke argument or other strong reactions, it seems like almost like a projection, because it also sounds like a reactive abuse kind of situation. I can understand if somebody was a provocateur, like, who initiated some kind of, like, let's see. Yeah, I can understand somebody who would initiate something just for the fuck of it. That seems like a Trump thing, actually, like a Donald Trump thing, because he used to like really provoke people, like no cap. But not to use Trump, because that just seems like an easy mark. I would say, like, but there's other people who have that kind of personality where it's just like, okay, like this person's minding their business, but you want to say something, you want to incite a reaction, and that right there, that for the person who's going to do something, that is reactive abuse. So that's if somebody is, having a response to abuse, then that is reactive abuse. That's not being a provocateur. You feel me? That's not being a provocateur. That person who's defining or identifying that person as a provocateur, who's intentionally misidentifying that person as a provocateur, is doing so because they are the abuser, they are the op, they are the enablers, they are the supporter. They are also and somehow making a connection or a profit out of either emotional, financial, or whatever socially, across the board, where their position is possibly endangered in some sense of form. Um, yeah. So yeah, I definitely see right through that bullshit. So when somebody's, calling, if somebody were to ever call me a provocateur, like, I know that that's cat, because I literally, I do nothing. I literally live my life on routine, and I do nothing but just, like, come home. I work, come home, do my chores, like, the chores that I make for myself, and do my homework and work on my, my projects. That's it. That's literally it. The only time when I need to say something is when something has literally been said about me, and something is literally intentional. Like, people have had the audacity to put themselves into my business, into my space, and I'm not doing anything. And so then they wanted to make up shit and lie and and do slanderous accusations regarding me. Not only that, but it was just like, okay, well then I'm gonna show you exactly what it feels like to be put into the situation, and I'm gonna hold you responsible and accountable for the misdeeds that you have done with the help of a lot of people. So now that I'm calling you out and now you want to play dumb, now I want to go back into my goodie bag of things and play this out accordingly. You want to say that I'm not, you know, I'm not basically being that kind of person who's uh I guess affixing the appropriate crimes to you, but I am. I am. You are the person who decided to put surveillance cameras into my home, and then you're the person who's obviously making the profit off of it. Because then why are you the one that's calling me, broke all the time and shit like that? Why are you the one that calls places on my behalf? Why are you even knowing that? Like, I had cut you off in 2021. How are you staying abreast about things that I'm not mentioning on social media? You guys have to look on a fucking app or whatever in order to know exactly what the fuck is going on. You wake up every single fucking day in order to make a little belittling remark about anything about me, literally, about my look, about my hair, about my smell, anything you can fucking think of. Shit, I can be on my period and you'll make fun of that, but like literally 2 weeks later, you'll be on your period, smelling like, from what I hear, really, really bad. So it's just like, why would I ever feel like, I guess, why would I ever feel intimidated, or why would I ever feel like you were somebody to even respect or consider being someone who's authentically genuine when you try to acknowledge me as something I'm not? So when you say things like, oh yes, you being a provocateur, you definitely are projecting and omitting who the fuck you are and who the fuck you support. Now, I was laughing at this because like literally on the same thing, it says provocateur up front, but this part right here was talking about the female agent provocateur is a woman who incites someone to do something. So when you're paying people to triangulate information, that makes you the provocateur. When I am minding my business and I have cut you off and I've literally shown that I have court situations where I take off days and I just don't want anything to do with you, but somehow you want to make up fabrications that we are still like, in the mix of like talking for anything. That's accusing. That's being accusatory of crimes that I have not committed. Slandering me about dumb shit that you've actually been accused of. I'm sorry, that you've actually done. That's that's talking about committing crimes that I haven't done. Like, give it up. Give it the fuck up. Like, you are so horrendous when it comes to, the schemes and the crime that you've done. You have. And by you I'm saying, like, my abusers. You have. Um, like, you might want to try to find like a hole in the conversation, be like, oh well, I seen so and so out and about, she wore I saw so and so out and about on this bright and sunny day, and it was pretty hot outside, and they were wearing, like this pink coat. They were like, actually, it was fuchsia and it wasn't hot. It was more of a warm. And some things that I mixed. Where it's just like you were like, okay, you just want to try to catch up and narrow it down to try to take away, I guess, like my to try to take away or dismiss my observations and for calling you out and the accuracy of my information. So like I see through the games, and I'm telling you, like, if you guys just read fucking, like, you can read books, you can watch videos, because it's not always in books though. But it's just like, this shit isn't new. Like, these tactics aren't new. Read psychology books. Read, of course, I'm going to just say Freud, because I'm just like, I think that's very I just feel like that's very very common. Like, where's my bookmarks? I think I'm gonna have to put that down. It's like, there's different things. Oh my god, why am I not having? I didn't eat. Oh my god, did I eat? Did I eat? Yeah, but not enough. I need something. I need to have some food. All right, so it's yeah. Because I'm like, okay, well, what did I eat? I mean, I had something, but it wasn't like something. It wasn't healthy, but I have to say that I'm in my cramps right now. So like, it's that time. So to be fair, um, yeah, it's just like I see it for what it is. So, when Miss Carter wanted to, to try to assume that somebody is a provocateur when really the person who is a provocateur is the one who incites someone to do something. So if you incite people by slandering behind my back and you incite a whole bunch of people literally to gang stalk or to watch me, harass me, criticize everything that I do. Like it is ridiculous. Superficial shit. And especially hypocritical shit. Like, oh my God, like, oh my goodness, like her bed's not done. Oh my goodness, she didn't drink enough water. Oh my goodness, like why didn't she brush her hair? Like, I'm like, squeeze, maybe I don't want to do that. Oh my goodness, why is she wearing that outfit? Like it's because I want to. Like, yo, you shouldn't have to have an answer for everything. You shouldn't even be watching me. You feel me? Um, like you feel me? You just like, oh my God, y'all just really be in y'all feelings. So it's just like, hold on, a woman who incites someone to do something, especially something incriminating. So while this person was over here trying to attracting you guys and recruiting you guys to be freaking toxic, and also just further show your toxicity as a group, as a race, just I mean a part of a member of the race. It was just like, damn bitch. That's a provocateur. That's a provocateur. That is a provocateur. Hello, little number one. Hello. And then you go off, right? So yeah, that's I shit you not. Like that's literally the look. A woman who incites a woman who incites someone to do something, especially something incriminating. Y'all be calling your own selves out. Y'all really do. Y'all be calling your own selves out. And that's just a piece of information for anybody else who literally is a true supporter and advocate for my freedom and for my liberty. Because that's just something I'm telling you, like these people are so freaking low and low worth that they will be like, we'll find them, then we'll just move on to somebody else. And I told you so. I'm just telling you, like in these moments, like just look back at the fucking like videos when it comes to like I told you so, because you will need these things because there are people who be like, I'll learn from this and I'll do better to do it to the next person. And this is crap already because like they've done it to other people. I don't. It's really, like like seriously, chills, bro. Chills. I'm just really freaking annoyed, bro. I'm just really freaking annoyed. Like. Anyway, the next point of this conversation. Oh yeah, a free thinker. Like again, how's that bad? How's that bad? Accuses people of crimes that they didn't commit. Well, now here we are because now I'm literally calling it for what it is. I'm like, look, we can do this. Um, oh yeah, and then I decided to follow because I wanted to get what other kind of information did you want to triangulate. That's why I put this title as "At Me, Bitch." You feel me? Because I was like, yo, like say it with your fucking chest. Say it with your fucking chest. As you can see, I've had no problem with doing that. So it's just like, yeah. Here's some things that you can actually here's some things that you can find out that is extremely
girl world,
giving.
Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything about it. The hardcore girls just wear lingerie and some form of animal hair. In girl world, Halloween is the one.
Sorry, that's not hers. This is like very funny.
Question to the men that love to date overweight women. Why do you love to date overweight women? Is it because that's all you could afford? And women get it.
Okay, first off, that was a very offensive remark from this woman right here. Not Miss Carter, but the woman. It's just like, but that's how it's set up to make my abuser, one of my abusers, into the victim, because apparently that seems to be the thing going on right now, to try to relieve her of some of the responsibility and accountability for some of the actions that this person has done. So right now it's just like, okay, well, what can we do? And it's normally the following. You're going to show something, perhaps something of like, the husband possibly, abusing her, even though she's abused other people, and she wanted to literally try to assassinate other people. Oh, I heard on the wind that there was like a murder, though, but I'm not saying that. See, man, I'm literally saying that, but I'm not, I'm just saying like, this is something that was on the wind. Heard. Who did it? It was on the wind. So I won't get into the details about that part. But I will say this though, it's just something about like beating somebody, like a man beating his wife and then sodomizing her with a bottle, supposedly. That was on Miss Things live, but it was just like I just feel like it's like, obviously I see exactly what you guys are doing. Like, you're trying to victimize the abuser. I guess that person is your bread and butter. It tells me that the black side is definitely being really loud right now, and the media is trying to appease and soothe them in regards to, and not just the black side, but like I'm telling you, the whites who don't want to lose their pets. Like, I'm keeping it a fucking buck. It's just that, the black people who were very compliant with allowing not only the white people to, wipe their hands clean, or, get into the good graces of being forgiven for all the shit that, has happened back in the day. But they were rewarded by, but black people were rewarded by white people. And so I'm not trying to cause a racial divide. I'm really not. I'm literally observing and calling it out for what it is. Because like my whole stance has been for um, unity. I'm a black woman who grew up in a salad bowl kind of environment. And I believe a lot of people just, needed to take a moment to just sit down and realize, equality did not mean that we all went and suppress each other. But apparently, it's just, I'll get over it. On that part, no one's forgiven. No one's fucking forgiven. But uh, the people. Definitely am not trying to admonish the whole. I'm just saying that there are people, obviously, black people, who were paid and compensated for complying, for being obedient, for being loyal. It's really just loyal to the money and loyal to whoever holds like a bigger opportunity. But it's really just a juggling of sides. It really is. It's really a juggling of sides. It always fluctuates. It's almost like one of those voting ballots where it's just like, okay, well then who would be victor, even though you understand and you've already observed that, the bushel, the barrel, the basket of apples are mostly rotten. So what's to be done? You have a lot of people. I'm sorry, I'm looking, but I'm looking. So what's to be done? You have people who are very used to a certain type of way that involves corruption, gaslighting, and misleading people. You have a certain type of way that involves people very comfortable in their duplicitousness. You have people who are conditioned to think this way, and they are scared, nervous, afraid, fearful of what the other side looks like when they are actually accountable, or worse for them, is being held accountable for the offenses that they've done. And I don't want to get too far off in this, but it's just like people are at a position right now where they want to make it seem like they're making an effort, but they're really not. It's just like, we're really deliberating over this because this is there's a lot to consider. When in actuality, this should have already had, a plan. It's just like it's like one of those plans that you have for military action if two countries were at war. Like there should have already been a feasible plan. You already knew that you've been doing this for over a decade, but you are sitting on your hands and you're giving people anything that they want to hear. And for a lot of people, they're just willing to accept it because a lot of people are in a herd mentality, and a lot of people have trusted their lives over to the people who are in political seats of power. And so instead of actually demanding and forcing the situation, it's just like not enough people are actually making a move in order for something to happen. I think that they're waiting for it to happen from me because, again, the abuse of religion, of a curated religion, and all that other kind of bullshit. People are expecting me to just, either, survive in some type of way, or, obviously, kick the bucket. It's just, it's just really a power play. It's a power play, but definitely it does nothing most but expose exactly, again, the black people who wanted to play victim and point fingers at a lot of people, everyone except themselves, because they themselves were okay with oppressing others, and things of that nature. They just didn't want it to happen to them. Like we were holding people accountable for, Black Lives Matter, for racism in general, which, as we should. I was there and I was definitely supporting too. For inequality, for the inequality as far as, payments and opportunity and things of that nature. I don't want to get too far off of this. I don't want to get too far off of this. Apologies, because when I look in the screen, I parakeet, so it's weird. So like my attention to detail sometimes is parakeets, and so then I'll drift off into a more other type of thing. So shit. Fuck. Oh, so oh, all right. Well, to put it plainly, it's just like, I understand, but I don't agree with. But I see it for what it is. It's just that, people are expecting me to, again, save myself, and because a life has been curated for over a decade. No, actually, no, it hasn't. The whole religion thing has been curated over a decade. It's been curated probably since 2000. I'd say about like 2017, maybe even 2016, because actually it's something that pardon me, is that I've been viewed for a while, for, like I said, for over a decade. But I had recently came over this clip on YouTube about cults and stuff like that. And there's a video about like how to start a cult and things of that nature. But it was just like every little thing that I wasn't look. Every single time when I do something, or when I look into something, research something, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Some people decide to monetize off of that, monopolize, and have like an opportunistic opportunity over those things. And sure enough, while I was being surveilled without my permission and without even knowing, people were somebody, one of my abusers, decided to look at that, jump at the opportunity, and decided to curate a religion using the other religions that they had, based off of their own knowledge, and always being like one of those the church goers and things of that nature, and then collaborating with other people and be like, you know what, bank. So I would say about like maybe 2016, 2017, that this probably had started very small, and then mainstreamed around maybe 2017 and in 2018. Damn. So, but nonetheless, what I am thinking of, is was it whenever I had that online call out feud from that YouTubers, and I think that was like around that time, shortly after. And I was like, oh well, this is interesting. And then yeah, boom. Nonetheless, I don't want to get too off of it. But yeah, it's just like, people are basically pretending that they're actually going to do something, but nothing is actually manifesting. It's just all performative shit. Just like, before, when it was like, oh, we care about the slavery and Juneteenth. Juneteenth is so special. Like, get the fuck out of here. You don't fuck. So yeah. But because of the abuser is in a situation where they are now considered, it's just too much heat, too much criticism. I'm not saying there's a lot of people that are down this bitch throat or in this guy's throat, but there are enough, because there is a situation in the media, social media, media news, and also with on social media. Yeah, on social media and media news, and through corporations and things of that nature, where they are trying to soften the blow of accountability with one of my abusers, the feminine one, and to make it seem like, they are a victim in their own way. So, and not by just, what they're saying. And this is the thing though. Here you see me going about my situation, alone, but you have the government and you have the news, and so it's just like, how are you stunting when you have this? It's like literally seeing a silver spoon kid trying to like kick, gut punch or kick a homeless man and see, look at, this is what I can do, I got this, can you do this, like, certain things like that. But it's also on the fact that the reason why you even got that is because you had to lie, sex, steal, and collaborate with other criminals or people who are criminal minded. I digress. The point of this is for me to discuss and announce the activities of people who are, fellow abusers to my abuser. So this is like, you'll kind of see certain things. You know how people used to wear like well, excuse me, in gangs, like affiliated gangs, people would wear like colors, Crips would wear blue, Bloods would wear red, Latin Kings, they were white. Ku Klux Klan would wear white too. I don't know, just like, but I'm just saying, like, people wear different type of colors. And this kind of thing, it would be more of those little spirit bead bracelets, things of that nature, things of the Lucky Van Cleef's jewelry. That is like, one of those assimilation. I mean, not assimilation, affiliation kind of situations. For some people, it's also the blonde hair. And again, so anyway,
Therapist challenge. I'm sorry.
so yeah, I was definitely saying that, yeah, that it's this type of content lately within the past week is because I guess there's too much heat and accountability, and things are being exposed right now within the past week, within this week. And now they're trying to be, considered a victim. So with that, again, influencers, media corporations, and the like is definitely doing the most in order to keep people in check, fall in line, and to also try to gaslight and shame them for trying to hold that person accountable. So let's just go about this. This one right here is about like fat shaming, and I don't disagree with this woman. I don't disagree with this woman, the Carter woman, when she talks about like that comment was offensive, because that comment is offensive. Me and my fluffy ass, even when I was considered, I've always been plus size. I've been at least like a size 10, size 12, and now I obviously, go thicker. Thicker look the thicker. But nonetheless, it's just like that, yeah, no. Like I literally grew up around people who were thicker than me and people who were like my size or bigger. So that's a very insensitive comment, considering that I've always I even shopped at or I had like brothers and things of that nature who shop at the big and tall. So like and not just in that way. I'm trying to say this without fuck it. So I think that basically the woman who was making that comment, she was just like an insensitive bitch. Obviously, first off, the woman who made the comment, like she didn't look like she was a looker anyway, and the well seems like it was pretty dry for her to make that remark. If at all, somebody was ever to say something like that, I can understand personally. I'm just like, I can understand personally for somebody to make that comment. If that person initiated, actually, no, let's talk about it. So somebody, one of my aunties used to talk about my height on occasion. And I'd be like, you know what? With my mouth, I would literally say something very smart and say something, rhetoric. Shut it up. And it didn't always have to be about the looks, but it was about, like the inside. And I'm like, shut it down. Shut it down. So, having these moments where it's like when it's like personally, when you're making like little clapbacks like that, I feel like that's fine. I feel like because I feel like that's even. I think that's even Steven. I think that's a fair ground kind of situation. But if you literally have the audacity or the nerve to record yourself and make a statement like that to men, that sounds very insecure. That sounds like a pick me. That sounds like a pick me. That sounds like a very insecure remark, and it sounds like the well is very dry when you should really just be looking at yourself and YouTube videos on how to make yourself look pretty. I mean, men nowadays will fuck anything. So it's just like I don't understand why you just had to mess with women who were plus size, like unprovoked like that. Like that's just that's wild. That's wild. So yeah, but I mean, I can understand if maybe plus size girl had said something initially. You feel me? Had said something initially, and then you have responded, but it was responding to her, or to her, even if she was in front of somebody, something like that to that extent. Okay, but to put yourself in a situation where you're asking men, that just sounds really pick me, because now you're comparing it and you're making men try to consider like, well, yeah, why don't I? Why? Like at the end of the day, if that's what he's gonna fuck, then that's what he's gonna fuck. But men fuck anything. A lot of men, not all men, but it's just like, like I don't understand why you would wanna bother. That's so crazy. That's hey. I haven't had the bird feed in a while, so like they get aggressive. In fact, I'm pretty sure one called me a bitch the other night. Like not really, but like with the eyes. Like you can tell when animals have attitudes. And it's just like literally they come on the windowsill and they're just like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy. So crazy. Very disrespectful. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like somebody. It's kind of like somebody, at a cafeteria, they're seeing you eat something. Well, actually, like you're looking at us bitches, you kind of know about that. I don't know how it comes when you guys are looking into my situation. And you're like, well, why is she wearing that? Like you bring that energy back at you when people start judging you and criticizing you on your things. And then it's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna get them. It's like, it's wild, bro. You have to make that shit publicly known to go ahead in your fucking group chats and make that shit publicly known about your disdain about somebody unprovoked. And you really do bring that drama right the fuck back to you. And it should not be a moment where you try to victimize yourself, or where you try to like, or even worse, when you try to like bully the other person, because it's just like, I think this is just your just desserts and you should just eat it, or, eat it or take that hit on the chin. Do what you want. Do see what you. I just yeah. So people start thinking like, oh, I'm a troublemaker. I'm not a troublemaker. It's just that you bring that shit to my door and you expect me to just go thank you and then turn that shit into fertilizer for you to grow with. And I'm like, nah, bitch. Let's throw it back at you. Like, get the fuck out of here. I hate this people. I'm telling you. Yo, like you people are all right, anyway. But so yeah, this video is not what I'm like, all right, so not just paying attention to the topic but I wanted to actually I wanted to talk about not the content, but the topic. So the topic is related because again, you want to try to victimize the person who's obviously being put into the spotlight for something that they've done. And I'm pretty sure somebody had made a comment about that person's appearance and their weight, and it's probably triggered her because this person is very insecure already, and probably is crying somewhere in private. And in addition to that, leaned on other people to like the abuser enablers, and they decided to make content or things of that nature in order to support her and to turn her into a victim, which is crazy on how you guys don't even want to turn. You guys are so quick to be like, we're so glad, you didn't turn yourself into a victim, Shalice. We're so like, you shouldn't do that anyway. You shouldn't be, because honestly, you save yourself. You save yourself. Like, but somebody, who is quick to call somebody else fat. You guys are making a series of content about hey, no fat shaming. I mean, yeah, no fat shaming, but just like, well, this person's literally a hypocrite. It's just like, stop it. So that,
but it's every day at this point. Every day an insecure.
Yeah, so this one right here is about basically her looking like it's like enough OMG. So this person is looking like, they're an advocate, obviously, which is not bad, but it just seems to be very a tactical subject and topic.
Because if looks can kill, we wouldn't want to be Dan Humphrey.
This one is also blonde, the blonde feature, and this one is for the
I know everyone is.
And this one is about the mental health Angus Cloud. So that's what's 3 days, 2 days, one day.
I know.
And this one is about Angus Cloud. I'm just saying that this looks, obviously just coincidental. So, I mean, if you want me to pussyfoot around and play like you guys can, I really can. If anything, it can, help people become free, like, kind of like pique people's mind and kind of elude and do that whole thing where they're just like, kind of planting a seed into people's mind. Oh, why do that? Why do that? I feel like, you guys are being manipulated enough. Let me just call it out for what it is. So that way you can prepare yourself for when this situation happens again, when other people are literally trying to mind fuck you. Okay? Like, why would I need to? But if you want me to show you an example, I will do it. Like, I presume this is, one of the things. Obviously, well, hold on. First off, obviously with, planting basically it's like planting things where you have topics and things of that nature. You'll have a photo of you with the blonde hair to make, hey, if you like that, then you're going to remember that other person who likes blonde hair. Like I said, like the whole like Aaliyah thing, I'm like, yo, I wasn't even trying to get that connection, but hopefully if that's what you see, obviously besides me saying, Aaliyah the other day, like, yeah, I love Aaliyah. But that's what obviously you don't see it in the face. But if that's, this hairstyle reminds you of Aaliyah and you start liking Aaliyah or you want to listen to Aaliyah, then that is the kind of situation that, that happens with, these people. They'll do things where they'll want to wear their hair like the abuser, or they'll want to wear something that's like the abuser. They'll want to sing a song that's probably like the abuser. They'll want to have some type of noticeable thing that the abuser has or does and will do that. So that's almost like a planting thing. This was seriously unintentional. I just need to just, change up the flow. But this right here, once you start seeing more habits and things of that nature, then you know that it's a mind fuck, basically. Look at here. I have a lot of Pisces in my family. So like I know male ones. So like I know some things. But I mean, but as again, not even about zodiacs and things of that nature, but like I grew up around and I read books. So well, excuse me, I read books. I don't read books anymore. Like I'll keep the being. I don't read books anymore. I have so much things to do in my life, but it's just like you kind of get the signs and you kind of know things and you should just be more not paranoid but definitely aware because in your situation not everyone is out to get you, but once you start noticing some patterns you just become very more aware of what your surroundings are, and so you can also hopefully not be a target yourself. That's why I definitely don't see any benefit to somebody being like, no matter what anybody does to me, I'll still have the open heart. Nah, bitch, don't do that. Don't do that. You're literally making yourself a fucking mark to be like the next Patsy or a person who's like to be ran over. You're literally making yourself a mark. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let people find out on their own. Definitely have a warm, welcoming spirit, but also definitely keep your guard up. And people think that I'm super cool. And I'm just like, well, yeah, nobody's keeping a fucking buck about what it is that's going on, behind the background. People are just being still like, very gung ho about being abusive and whatnot like that. And trying to off me. Tell me. It's crazy. Yeah, so this video right here with Miss Carter, she's doing Angus Cloud, and it's really fucked up because he was like one of my favorite characters on Euphoria. So he gave me Mac Miller vibes. And is it intentional what he did? I don't want to say so. I'm gonna say that's really messed up. Ooh, the chills are coming. I definitely don't think that was an intentional thing. But this is a Angus Cloud. But I will say this: this is an Angus Cloud where his death was ruled as a suicide. If you listen to the words I'm saying, it was ruled as suicide. I'm saying it's suicide. I did not. I said it was ruled as suicide. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you guys need to probe anything or things of that nature. I'm just saying it was ruled as a suicide. I'm not trying to do a controversy thing. I'm just saying that's what this says. That's what it said. It was ruled as a suicide. So with that, I mean, anything could have happened. It was ruled as a suicide. That's what I'm saying on my part. Anyway, but she used that as an example because I think the last part is, let's go.
Mental health awareness means to you. Remember that the people whose lives you can truly impact are the people who have been texting and calling you the past week, but you haven't found the time to get back to. I know things of mental health.
Yeah. So she made it the topic about mental health, but she was talking about the people who who have tried to reach out to you, but you haven't responded back to them. I'm like, stop it, Dobby, stop it. Like that is emotional manipulation. If somebody really is like toxic, and not even to use toxic because that is a very popular term. A trending term to use, but if somebody is like has a cantankerous soul, okay, a caustic bitch, is somebody who's definitely a negative or somebody who's just unattractive to you, both spiritually, financially, or whatever like that, and you feel like it's better for you to just have space. You don't even have to like completely take them out of your life. You can just want space, or you just don't want to like talk to them because like they are a downer. You are in your right to do that. So when somebody literally tries to trespass over that to try to use a trauma bond, or try to say that they're going to hurt themselves, or try to do anything where it's like, you are the focal point, you are the missing link. Like, 'cause don't get me wrong, it's great to be wanted, but that person is putting a lot of responsibility that is not yours on you. Especially when they're doing nothing but being a fucking drain to you. They're being a minus to you. So it is for you to go ahead and submit to that, literally would mean that you are, for that moment where you are putting, it's not in a moment where you're putting, your life on the back burner. Like you're putting their life, you're putting their life before yours. It is not looking like martyrdom. It's just looking stupid at that point. Because if you know and you recognize and have identified that this person is unhealthy for you in your present moment, and yet you allow them to enter back into your life, and then they start trying to blame you for it. And on top of that, they're using excuses, especially passive excuses where they have other people and over here trying to manipulate you into letting them back into your life and trying to guilt you and trying to shame you. Both those bitches are toxic. Seriously. Both those bitches are toxic because there are a multitude of resources, other fucking people, because sometimes you just need a fucking break. You really do. For me, on the other hand, when I cut you off, it took a lot out of me. You dead to me. Yeah, and it's crazy to have to literally resort to fucking the law to take it there. You feel me? But it's like when you are at a moment, you're not weak for just saying no, for not being able to keep carrying that load and that burden, because you're actually strong for releasing it. Okay, you've done all you can. You know, you need a moment, a siesta, to just, you know, kind of recoup. And if that person can't even respect that, then that person really isn't for you. For real, for real. If that person, then that person needs to go. Then that person needs to have even more time away from you, because there are literally a lot of resources out there and people out there. And whether they think like, okay, there's nobody out there. I'm not saying for me, because I don't know how many people are watching me without my permission. But it's just like there are therapists out there, you know, carry an extra session, go to church, speak to whomever. But you know, this lifeline is unavailable. You feel me? Like treat this like a fucking game show. You're like, oh well, you know, I want to use one of my lifelines. Okay, well this one has already been used. You can't use this one again. Okay, not for a while. You feel me? like you know, it's just like it's just no. But yeah, to try to guilt somebody with doing that kind of shit, like yo, you'll see that. And then if that doesn't work, if guilt, shame, and all that kind of other bullshit doesn't work, then they'll go into threatening you. Then it's when it becomes violence, and that's literally what something I've been subjected to on a multitude of occasions. So yeah, like you would probably see it in the newspaper. Husband murders wife. A husband who murders his wife is finally, you know, charged. Or no, husband who's looking for wife is finally charged for her murder, which is insane. That you know that shit had happened. It was just like, okay, well, if you were ever at that point, then why didn't you just leave that person? You feel me? And it goes vice versa, because even when women, it's a lot. Women can leave. Well, excuse me. Women can leave, but men won't let them. And that's really fucking insane. Not saying that it's insane that it's like unachievable, but it's insane that men's ego is that fucking fragile, weak, that they will not allow a woman to leave them. I'm in a situation where literally it's been years. It's been fucking years. But it's just like to be such a disgusting ass cock blocker. It's just insane. And that's for a lot of my, oh God, it's so sad. It's pathetic. But I didn't, I am going to capture this. I bought me some wine, a little small little can of like wine. So I'm gonna have a me moment. I have the chills now again. It's just This is nothing. This is nothing. I know people like give him like a cup of water. I'm like, this doesn't do anything. Give me a rum and coke. You feel me? Like, you ever had like a moment where it's like shaky or something like that? One of those moments where you just like, I'm like, don't do that. Give me a rum and coke with light ice and a squeeze of lemon, small one shot, because I'm a lightweight. Or give me a mudslide. Make it very, very chocolatey. Like, oh my God, I love chocolate. It's like, give me a milkshake. Like, you feel me? Like, give me something that's really going to like, like, you know, give me the hoo-ha. Give me a milkshake. Give me a strawberry milkshake or a peach milkshake. Light on the whipped cream. 3 cherries, maraschino cherries with the stems. Booze is optional. And like, you know, enough milk where it's thick but not too thick. I'm so fucking hungry right now. I'm so fucking hungry right now. All right, I'm gonna go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to show you the part about the restraining order. I will definitely be uploading the videos because the thing kept cutting off on me, and pardon me, I'm burped. The thing kept cutting off of me, so I had to show it, and just oh my god, focus. I wanted to show you also like the legit yeah, okay, look, I know it's full. Okay. I know it's full. Just show you. Yeah. Okay, walking right now inside the courtroom to go ahead and get the permanent restraining order. And that's literally the building right there. And and I couldn't do it because of the right now inside the, and I couldn't do it because I had to go through the security thingies. So I was trying to be on the Lizzo. I was trying to be like all secret agent girl, secret agent girl. Secret agent girl. I'm saying agent girl. Agent me. Okay, hold on. Well, again, it's nothing more than just, you know, my shoes. Okay, hold on. My shoes and stuff like that. Wait. Yes. And here's the authenticity.
Hi, I was told you want a copy of your final restraining order.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now it's still temporary.
She's gonna
Mr. Webb hasn't been served yet.
This is the part I had mentioned before about her explaining about the whole temporary, permanent restraining order and temporary restraining order. So we're just going to. I'm sorry. Hold on. Look right here. So I want you to make sure that you're seeing like how legit this is.
Hi, I was told you want a copy of your final restraining order.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now it's still temporary because Mr. Webb hasn't been served yet.
Okay.
Do you have any updated contact information you can provide us for him?
No, I mean, I only had the address that I provided to you, but when I went in court, she said that she was going to turn it into like a permanent one until he actually like appears.
Okay. Indefinite. It's an indefinite restraining order.
Okay.
Like it's not going to be dismissed just because he's not served.
Right.
But it's not a final or permanent one. It's still on the temporary stage, but just extended because he hasn't been located yet.
Okay.
So would you like a copy of that continuance order?
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have an address for him in Pemberton. Is that the one you provided? 495 Arnie's Mount, Birmingham Road?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have an 828 phone number for him. 828-280-1772.
Yes. He also has a few other locations. Can I be able to provide those to you as well?
Yes.
Okay, and then it had cut off right here. Okay, so this one right here is when I had it again, and I showed like other addresses, and this is also the other. This is the copy of the restraining order. But I sent it back to her because like I saw that the information wasn't added to the report, and I just wanted to send this to her because they were also like dragging the whole situation in regards to giving me my fucking information. So here's again the authenticity. Again, like I know the majority of people like already understand and know that this is an abusive situation, but like y'all being messy for no fucking reason. Like I don't want to be a part of y'all little mess. Y'all know it's wrong. It really looks bad on y'all. Like for y'all want to fuck up black excellence, or you want black excellence, but y'all keep fucking it up. Like y'all, like make it make fucking sense. It can make fucking sense. It's just
I just came here, so I wanted to provide the address for David Webb.
I went with my cell phone and I looked up everything like on the like pages.
I have
And
this
then
right here. Here's the document. So I just wanted to like update his records with that.
Who sent that email? I think it was Ashley. Ashley? David Webb? Can you forward it to me? Thank you. Just so I can reply to it.
Okay, thank you. Can you write down the number that I gave you, because I have more of his information, but I want to make sure I'm not giving it to you.
I'll have the person from that team come up and speak with you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Can you not even forward it to me? You can just reply to it.
okay, so we're just gonna go back to it kept as you can see, like these little, it keeps stopping. Like it literally kept stopping. It was annoying as ugh.
Hi. I had just gave her a paper. And I wanted to know if like on the bottom, can you write down the number? Because I need that information again, just so I can fix that to the white pages, because that's how I got the information.
It should be on the restraining order. Oh, it's not. I'll have to go back to my desk and get it.
I know it's 828, but
This is yours, and then let me just get that number.
oh, do you have a paper too with the addresses?
Yeah, this is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, nigga, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, y'all really put me in y'all information. I mean, like, in y'all business, and I'm just like, no, like, quit the shits, quit the fucking shits. I'm so done with this. We're done, so fucking done. So yeah, that's that part. What else? Well, okay, so I mean, what else did y'all want to see? Because supposedly this person has changed their name, but bam, 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 and you guys have seen the what is it? The other video before with the David and Shalise. So this is like ridiculous. Supposedly he changed his name. So yes. All right. Oh, goodness. It's so crazy, bro. It's so crazy. I'm just like, yo, like, I should have been one of those people where it was just like, you bring me up to talk about like, oh, these are the things that this person did, and just go on about your life. You just go on about your fucking life. This was really the fucking most, and it just seems like a lot of people are still playing a part. People are playing the part of being the coon and the patsy for certain people. And it's just furthering along an agenda that makes it look bad on them. It's just a setup. You're trying to do things to me, but it's really fucking you up. And it's just like, bitch. I swear to fucking beans. Whatever you found helpful in this, people who might actually become like a target in a certain type of way. Not saying that people will try to do this elaborateness with you, but anything's possible. I know people are just really fucking just quick money schemes. So you have your information, and there you go. It's great. It's really wild on how people who were profiting and exploiting and benefiting off of my own suffering and harm to that was done to me are being mad that I have boundaries and that I'm me having like, just standing on my own when it comes to like getting justice. It's so fucking wild, bro. So fucking wild. I just never want you to think that it's comfortable for you to think that you can try to say some slick shit on the side, because as it was noted that I'm supposed to save myself, I don't think that you think it is appropriate for you to go back, reintroduce, or even play with the slick shit that you've done in the past. That's where I'm at. It really is. It's where I'm at. So much pent up. Like, yo, it's just like that. That would not benefit or behoove you to make that mistake. I don't care who it is that is apparently in your corner. I'm calling things out for what it is. I really am, as I should, because and as I recommend that anybody does within reason. Make sure that you have enough content in order to kind of cross the T's, dot the I's, and the second and third. But it's just like, come on. I just seen too many coincidences, too many of that cute slick shit, and I'm just like, yo, I'm not the one. That's y'all bitches. You feel me? That's y'all bitches in the fucking group chats. That's y'all habit that y'all been doing for years and years and years. That's not me. It's not. It shouldn't have to be. So it won't. That's why a lot of you guys are upset. Anyway, I gotta go because I'm hungry and I'm cute and I deserve some food that's good. Bye.